Today we're covering stream reveals.
Take a look at who I am now. I'm stronger than ever. And if you ever doubted me, you should've known better.
Now, they didn't show many cards this stream because they also wanted to do a long fight for premium collection. They're still in that promotional week, let's say, for that set. Usually we get 0 cards before the release of a set and it's just them playing, but at least we got 2 cards right now. I will also go over the cards we actually got this weekend revealed at various Springfests. So first of all, we have Scare Dick. Yes, that is its actual English name. And look at it, like... Okay. He says act on V or R once per turn. If your drop zone has 30 or more cards, discard all the cards in your hand. And this unit gets plus 30k and a critical. Now, some people were liking this. I'm not sure why. It's a rare. It's good that this doesn't take up any higher slots. Essentially, this is a scuffed Skull Dragon. Because Skull Dragon would get 60,000 from 30 cards and doesn't force you to discard your hand. This one only gets 30k. Sure, he gets a critical, but if it's such a massive attack and it's that late into the game, your opponent is close to death anyway. And having to discard your entire hand just for that is just very, very bad. The only way this can be useful, in my opinion, is in Premium, where you do your Megiddo turn with 4 Skull Dragons and you maybe call this as well, so you can ditch your hand. Normally what you would have to do is either guard with your entire hand the turn before that, or start calling over cards, and that's just very clunky. Usually it doesn't work out because you want to have a full field and so forth. So what you could do is just use this one to empty your entire hand so that your Skull Dragons on the Megiddo turn are even bigger. But overall, this card is pretty meh. I don't think it'll see play. If it sees play, it's maybe a one-off, but even then, like, I don't think so. And we also got Pat the Ghosty. Look at the little cutie. It says continuous in drop zone. During the battle that your Vanguard is attacked, if your drop zone has 10 or more cards, you may call this card to G. Auto on G. When retired from G, bind this card. Now, I will say, apparently the English card says when your Vanguard is attacked, but the Japanese says when your opponent's Vanguard attacks. I'm not sure which one is the right one, but it doesn't really matter because all that matters is that this is jank. The big issue with this card is that it says when retired from G, bind this card. So if you have this in your hand and you guard with it, then it's already gone. Now, you may notice it is 15k shield, so that's why it's handy to guard with it from drop zone. But since the first time you use it to get into drop zone, it already binds itself. You never get to use the first skill. So the only way you get to use the first skill is if you either mill it or you discard it with a protect marker or something like that. So that's very, very limited. And then it's also a 4k, so if you're forced into riding it, that's even worse. If this card didn't have the second skill, but rather added that second skill to the cost of the first one, for example, after using the skill bind it, that'd be much better. Because you would get to guard with a 15k, it goes to drop, and then call it back from drop again and guard with it again. That'd be fine. But this is just very mediocre. So unless Grand Blue in Standard gets some insane aggressive milling that makes it worth it somehow to play this, I don't think this will be that relevant. Next up, we have 2 Aqua Force cards. We first of all have Storm Rider Nicholas. Auto on V or R. When placed, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Marine General of Restless Tides Algos, so the card from the trial deck, from among them and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck and this unit gets power plus 3k. This is fine-ish. This card will whiff quite often. Top 7 are fine odds, but they're not great odds. Apart from that, you're essentially minusing from hand to get something else to hand, but he by himself doesn't hit any numbers, so you think, oh, it's not a real minus because you get a body on field, but the issue is the body on field doesn't hit anything. So then it's a booster, but did you just minus 10k shield for a booster? And then the potential of actually minusing, because if you check top 7 and you don't find Algos, this card might as well be vanilla. Apart from that, this also forces you to run higher amounts of Algos, and I personally was hoping we would be getting better grade 2s than Algos. Algos is one of those cards that I would really, really like to cut. Sure, he's cool for the grade 2 rush, but I was hoping Aqua Force could evolve past that and also have just, I don't know, just control over its tempo, and this card doesn't seem to promote that. Now, of course, if we suddenly get even more cards that rush like crazy on grade 2, that changes the story. But for now, I'm not a huge fan of the card. However, I will say, most of the grade 1s in Aqua Force right now are absolute junk. Like, I would love to throw away all the great ones in Aqua Force apart from Light Signals Penguin Soldier. So this is still better than all the junk we have right now. It's just not much better yet. We'll see how the other cards start interacting with algos and so forth. Then next up, we have Coral Assault. I love the art. It is a triple R, so it better be very good. It says continuous on R. During the battle, it attacked if you have 4 or more other units in rest. This unit gets power plus 15k, so it's a very big boy, a very big beat stick. However, 4 things have to be resting, so this guy will always be your last attacker. He's kind of trying to fill that Riptide Dragon slot, which is fine because Riptide Dragon is just a horrible ride. So ideally, we would now have 8 amazing grade 3s because of this new set. No longer have to run Riptide, and this guy doing kind of the same thing but worse, but at least not ruining consistency in any way. And 15k plus 9 is actually a good number. And then his second skill, because yes, he does have a second skill, is auto on R. At the end of your turn, if the total number of attacks this turn is 4 or more, put this unit into your soul and draw a card. That is essentially scuffed Saberflow Sailor. Saberflow lets you draw 2 cards. Saberflow Sailor did, however, not hit good numbers, and she had to do the 4th attack herself for the deck or more. However, drawing 2 is so much better than drawing 1. One thing you could say is, oh, but this one gives you soul. However, Aqua Force doesn't really use that much soul. I guess Tidal Assault and Algos do now, but I don't know, it's a bit awkward. I will say, if we start moving towards a very aggressive Algos kind of thing, like the grade 1 is already doing, sure, having more soul can be handy, but drawing 1, I don't know. If this drew 2, I would be in love with this card. This would probably be my favorite card for the set, but drawing 1, that just makes it fair, I would say. Now, it does do a lot. We're already seeing it does many things, which the clan does miss in essence, in standard at least. I would say in premium, it's still like, maybe, we'll see. Because a lot of your grade 2 slots are already filled. It's actually the one thing where Aqua Force has many good units. But for standard, it does fix quite some things already. I just wish it did a little bit more. But of course, again, it depends on what else we see. We also had Art from Monthly Bushiroad. It looks like a Paladin. It's like Gold Paladin meets Aqua Force. It does look pretty good. It's not as good as G art, but it's better than most V art. And I'm sure with the right foiling, maybe this is like a triple R or something, this will actually become a really nice looking card. So that is all for today. Hope you found this interesting. If you did, please subscribe to the Solemn Vanguard channel, click the bell button to stay up to date, like the video. If you liked the video, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see you soon. Ciao.